안녕하세요. Welcome back to another episode of the Steebee Weebee Show. We have a very special guest tonight. Please welcome for the first time on the podcast, comedian Grace Jung. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Yeah. So, let's just get right to it. You got a book hot off the press.
Yeah.
K-Drama School.
Yeah.
What inspired you? This is like the artwork's amazing. This is amazing.
What inspired me?
Yeah, like what gave you the idea?
I watch a lot of Korean TV dramas, and I wanted to write about them.
Nice. I mean, how long did it take you to get this fully published? And I mean, look at the packaging. Like, who did the cover? This is amazing.
Yeah. The artwork is done by this British Korean lady named Sunny Woo. Mm-hmm. She's based out in London, I believe. Mm-hmm. She's very, very talented. So I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased to have her work on my book cover. And her artwork is like on the cover of every single chapter. So there's like 14 other drawings in there. Very beautiful. Everywhere: Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble.
So how did you get it like packaged in public? Like how long did it take you to complete this whole project?
So I wrote the book. I started writing the book in spring 2021, right when I was finishing up my doctorate degree, and there were no jobs, and it was like a really horrible time. So I was like, how am I going to survive? So I was like, let me just write about Korean television because it's so popular. Squid Game had just come out, and it was very, very popular. So I was like, let me write this book. So I wrote it I wrote the first draft in like a few months, really fast. And then I quickly hunted down a literary agent.
How did you do that? I mean, did you just Google that, or how did you go about doing that?
So one way is just like cold contacting every single agent that does nonfiction books, which is what I did. And I did that for about 2 months. And then I heard back from 3. And of the 3, only one seemed very keen. So I went with her.
Yes.
And then I signed with her in August. And then the book got sold in October. So it moved fast. Yeah.
So off top, 3 of the best Korean dramas, just off the top of your head.
Oh my gosh. All right. Number 1, I'm going to say I'm Sorry, I Love You. It came out in like 2004, I want to say. Yeah.
Is it the North Korea, South Korean about the soldier?
That's Crash Landing on You.
My mom made me watch that.
Did you like it?
I did. I did. Yeah,
you were pleasantly surprised.
No, I did, yeah. But she forced me because it's about, it's like North and South Korea.
Yeah.
And it's like a love story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it bridges the gap between North and South Korea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the first one you said, why is that so good?
It's so depressing.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you
based
describe the premise?
It's based on a Japanese manga, I think, and then they turned it into a Japanese drama, and then Korea also adapted it into a K-drama. Seo Ji-sub is in it, who is like, so fine. He was like one of my favorites.
What's it about? Is it?
So it's about a Korean adoptee man who goes to Korea looking for his birth mother, and then he assumes that his birth mother gave him up because she didn't have any money. But when he goes to Korea, he finds out she's a huge actress with a son, and she's super rich, and he's like, how could she have given me up? And then it turns out he has a twin sister. She's like mentally disabled because she got hit by a car, and she has a son. and they're living in squalor and poverty.
Whoa, that's a great idea.
And he has a bullet in his brain. Yeah, he got shot in the head and he survived. And yeah, while trying to rescue his girlfriend. I know. And she was getting married that day. Whoa. I know. And he survives, but they're like, but you're gonna die. Like, you're not gonna live forever. But here's all this money. So go do what you please. So he goes to Korea, finds his birth mother, and then the rest of the show, he wants to take revenge on her, but he ends up falling in love with a girl.
In Korea?
In Korea. And then...
Where is he raised? In America?
In Australia. And his English is really bad in the K-drama, which is interesting. Really? And he has no Australian accent, which is interesting.
That's crazy. All right, let's go to choice number 2. That first one was good.
This is a recent one. It's called My Liberation Notes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna like that one, but I love it.
Well, just describe the same way you described the first one.
It's like a very realist drama, very quiet, easygoing, but like very deeply spiritual and profound.
In what ways?
Like, they talk about like manifestation, but like without saying the word manifestation, you know? So that I like, because it's not annoying. Okay. They talk about law of attraction without talking about law of attraction.
Yeah.
Without mentioning it. Yeah.
What's the narrative about, though?
It's about 3 siblings. Okay. They live outside of Seoul. And they want to move to Seoul, but Seoul's housing prices are so high that they can't. One of them, she loaned her ex-boyfriend like 10 grand and he did not pay her back. So she's about to default, on her loans. And he's just like cursing her out, saying, I don't have any money, like figure it out. And she's just like, why do people keep breaking up with me or stealing? Why are they stealing money from me? Why is my life so lousy?
So he's always the victim.
She's always the victim.
Oh, she's always the victim.
Yeah. So there's this man who like works on her parents' farm, and and he's a drunk. He's an alcoholic. He drinks like every night, like 2 bottles of soju every night. So she walks over to him one night because she's just had it, and she says to him, why do you drink all the time? And he's like, well, what else is there to do? And she's like, do you want me to give you something to do? She's like, well, I want you to worship me.
Really?
Yeah. Look at that face. Weird. It's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what the hell? But...
So what does it turn into, like a 50 Shades of Grey type deal?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's like very like subtle.
Yeah.
But slowly he changes and she changes. They fall in love.
Yeah. And
then turns out he's like an extremely wealthy person who owns like a series of clubs.
Yeah.
And he was just there hanging out like to recover from his nightlife career.
Okay. So let's do number 3 now. I love this because I'm learning. I hope you're writing these down too, right? Yeah. So number 3.
Oh, this is tricky, but I guess the show I've watched the most is Goblin, Great and Lonely God. Yeah, that has Kong Yu, who was in Train to Busan, which maybe you've seen.
Yeah.
The zombie film.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy.
So hot.
Handsome man.
Oh, so fine.
That's the father, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So fine.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he's gay, but yeah.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's gay.
So I'm not familiar with it, but there are quite a few homosexuals in Korea. But do you think that because of the culture, do you think that a lot of it, they're in the closet?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. But back, historically speaking, was back in the day frowned upon, maybe? Because, Koreans are a bit conservative. And,
I think the anti-gayness stuff, though, was happening more like during the Confucian era, and also due to Christianity coming into South Korea. That was a big one. Yeah. Not just South Korea, but all of Korea started coming out before the nation divided.
So, when's the last time you were in Korea?
2019.
And what was it like? What was your experience like?
It was good.
Yeah.
I was doing stand-up. Maybe you know him. Do you know Danny Cho?
I've heard of him, yeah.
He's like a friend of your brother's.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danny Cho had just gotten to Korea. He was starting to do stand-up in Korean.
In Korean?
Yeah.
That's different.
And he's good.
Yeah.
I was impressed. Stand-up was like starting to catch, like was starting to become a thing
Because
in Seoul.
In Seoul.
Yeah.
So there's like open mics and like
They
different venues.
started doing open mics in Korean.
Yeah.
Yeah. In English, they had done it for a while.
Yeah.
But like in Korean, with Koreans doing stand-up, that was like a new thing. Mm-hmm. Although Koreans had done a version of stand-up like during the colonial occupation.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you know so much history about? How do you know this history?
Because I have a PhD in cinema and media studies.
There you go, dude.
So I study.
Don't even sleep on her.
Yeah. Yeah. I study these things.
And I met you. Can I tell them about the?
Yeah,
please.
I met you
in Missouri.
Yeah, in Missouri. In St. Louis, Missouri.
At a comedy festival.
Yeah.
And it was. I don't want to make it racial, but I noticed it was either all black or white.
Yeah.
And then I was in an Uber.
Yeah.
And when I started speaking, the lady goes, "I never heard a Chinaman talk like you." Yeah.
I remember.
Did I tell you?
Yeah, you walked in and you sat down right next to me and you were like, "This place is different."
I was tripping.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, she said that. It's this black lady.
Black
lady said,
a black woman.
I never heard a Chinaman talk like you, and I was like, but she was being sincere.
She was being genuine.
She was being genuine.
Yeah, we couldn't take offense to that.
Yeah,
She's
no,
shocked.
I wasn't offended. I was shocked because I've never heard that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What?
It was shocking.
She wanted me to stay because she wanted to like converse with me longer for the ride. I'm like, eventually, I gotta go, because she goes, "Oh, what else, honey?" I was like. Because she just wanted to hear me talk.
Because for her, it's like the circus is in town.
Yeah.
And you're the Chinaman clown.
To her, yeah.
And she wanted to see you juggle and...
Yeah, she wanted to hear...
Eat fire. She wanted to hear your Los Angeles ching chong.
Yeah, slang.
Yeah.
Yeah, L.A.
She wanted to see you do kung fu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So did you notice... And then that's when I met you because we were the only... Asians there, even at that place, right?
The only Asians.
Oh my god! So did you have a good time there? I know you did a few sets there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an okay time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you ever move to a place like Missouri?
I would not move to Missouri, no. But I am moving.
Where?
Moving to a place not too far from Missouri. So I'm gonna move back to New York for the summer. And then I'm gonna go to Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, I have a friend out there.
Really?
Can I play video? Yeah, shout out to Tweak. Yeah.
Hey, Tweak.
Tweak sauce. Eric Tweak. Yeah, he's got his. We play Warzone together.
Nice.
Why Wisconsin?
So I have a PhD, right?
Yes.
So I should work as a professor if I want to make an income. And I had 3 offers.
University of Wisconsin?
So University of Wisconsin-Madison is the place I will be at for the next 9 months. So it's a visiting assistant professor position.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. There's Koreans probably there.
There
in
are.
Wisconsin, right?
Yeah. There's a handful.
Did you ever hear of the story of Cho Sung-hui, the Virginia Tech killer?
Cho Sung-hee? Yeah, What about him?
So I was just I didn't mean to switch topics, but
that was a very sharp turn.
What are your thoughts on the guy, him being Korean, and do you think are you surprised that he was Korean and he ended up doing that at Virginia Tech?
Why? What inspired you to talk about this?
I don't know because I might have watched it might have popped up on my algorithm on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
And I watched the whole.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, in the last week, it's
in your head,
subconscious or something. And then you're, because I don't have.
Yeah.
I do have Koreans, but I like asking other Korean people. I like talking about it with other Korean people.
I understand. Yeah. Well, when it happened, I was in college. I remember reading it in the paper. I remember being very shocked. Mm-hmm. Is it surprising that he's Korean? Not really.
Not really.
Because, I talk about it a lot in my book, but
You do talk about that?
I don't talk about that specifically, but I talk about the violence that Koreans have endured from our own parents, but their parents, And then the soldiers that used to beat the shit out of their parent or kill them, or
were you abused? Did you go through domestic violence?
Of course. Of course I did. I talk a lot about that in this. Yeah. Not a lot of Koreans talk about it.
But I don't think a lot of, I'm bringing up white people because for the most,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of white people, they were abused for them. I don't want to generalize, but I remember my friend, the Olivers, David Oliver and Derek Oliver.
Uh-huh.
When I'd go to their house,
Yeah.
like their father would walk downstairs and like hug him and go,
Yeah.
and then he would be like,
Yeah,
son,
that's crazy.
like, son, I love you.
Whoa, that's nuts.
And I would be like, whoa.
Yeah. I don't
Because
understand.
my appa, if you woke him up from a nap,
forget it.
It was like beat down city. Like, like
like it's over.
It's over. So you dealt with that in your household.
Of course.
Do you mind talking about it? I mean,
no, I don't. I don't.
What was
Yeah.
the first memory of you realizing, oh no, like this is a violent household?
Well, the thing is, like, it's not just my household. It's like all of Korea is like that because the military violence is like everywhere. So like your father, rest in peace, probably served in the military.
How'd you know?
Because all Korean men are required to serve in the military. Because
he was in the army, Korean army.
So my dad was a Marine. Yeah. So Marines are next level hardcore. Yeah. So
you're blaming it on just the military and just the mindset of the Korean military?
Yeah, because the military steeps everything. When they're serving in the military, they are severely abused. There's actually a K-drama you should check out. It's called DP.
Can you write that down, please?
It's on Netflix. It's really good.
It's about that.
It's about like young men who go to the army to serve, but they're hazed, bullied. A lot of them attempt suicide. A lot of them, just beat the shit out of one another. They sexually abuse one another. Their own superiors beat the shit out of them.
So why is that? Is it their lieutenants or the people in with a higher rank? They abuse them, and it's just like
it's a cycle that it's a systemic thing. Exactly. Yeah. Right. So these men, they have all this military abuse that is in their bodies, in their minds. They think this is normal. What do? They go and become school teachers when they leave. They become fathers. They become, a CEO or a manager, whatever. But they have this militaristic hierarchy in their minds and in their bodies. So it ends up coming out, this use of force. Mm-hmm. And to them, it's normal. But to a child, it's not.
No.
So the military thing is very big, and a lot of scholars have written about it too. That's really where it goes back to.
When was your first memory of something severely violent where you're like, okay, this is crazy?
So I was like 4 or 5 when I started going to nursery school in South Korea. I was born in Busan.
Okay, yeah. I think my dad's from there too.
Your dad's from Busan?
Or one of them, either my mom or dad. One of
wow.
them Busan,
So they probably spoke 경상도 사투리 in the house. Like their dialect was probably.
Oh yeah, explain to them in Korea. There's like country dialect. Right?
Yeah. There's regional. Regional dialects. So Busan is southeast, right by the water.
Yeah.
And our dialect sounds similar to how Japanese people speak. The intonation is very similar. Mm-hmm. So in any case, I went to nursery school there. It was a nursery school / Protestant church. Mm-hmm. And like I couldn't do math. So they would
for a Korean
for each
not for
each problem I got wrong, they would make us put our hands out like this and hit us with sticks.
What is about Koreans and objects? Because growing up, it's like my dad beat me with the keyboard, sticks, belts, anything. It's not just regular. They always have to grab some kind of weapon.
A weapon.
I mean, there's something there too.
There is. It's very strange.
I
remember we went hiking once.
Like, take a belt and like do this and make it stronger, like. He would like tighten it up, like make it a stronger
to get a better grip.
Or like
to get a better grip.
Stick, he would be like, "No, this is not big enough, and then he would grab a bigger stick with like a handle.
Because he knows it's a performance. He knows it's freaking you guys out. It's to terrorize you. It's my parents, they would do this. It was so fucked up. We would go for a hike, right? Yeah. And it'd be a beautiful hike. And then we would see a stick and they're like, that's a perfect stick to beat you with. Go grab it.
That's some Korean
That's some Korean shit.
That is some Korean
and I would suddenly, like, my head would be in terror and I'd be like,
oh.
I didn't even do anything wrong, but you know, I'm in the car holding in the back seat, like, oh my God, this is the thing they're gonna beat me with.
Do they not realize that psychologically, like, just that's going to do something to you?
I don't think they knew it. I'm sure they found it funny.
Yeah.
And looking back on it now, it's funny. Like, it shit is funny.
Yeah.
Because it's in the past.
But not when you're a kid.
Not when you're like 7, 8, 9, 10. No.
Yeah.
When you're small and defenseless, it's not funny.
Now, was there ever a time where you rebelled against that?
Oh yeah.
Can you want to talk?
Of course.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I went to a church, like it's a very common thing, all Korean church, Protestant church, and there was an 언니, like an older girl.
Other sister.
Yeah. And she was in college, and I was still a teenager. And I remember going up to her, and I was like, "Man, I wish my parents would stop fucking beating me." And she was like, "You know how you make them stop?" I was like, "How?" And she goes, "Hit them back." I was like, "What? I can't hit them." She's like, She's like, "Who hits you?" I was like, "Both of them." But like, you know, lately my mom, she's like, "Just hit her back, and she'll stop." And I was like, "Okay."
How old were you?
I was like 15, 16.
So what grade is that? So
I was in high school.
You're in high school.
I was in but like by high school, like they kind of stopped. Like 15, 16, like to hit, you know, like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird no matter what. But 15, 16, like, you know, you look like a grown woman, like it's fucking weird. So my mom would like sometimes grab a remote control and like throw it across the room and it would hit me.
Right.
Because I'd be like mouthing off or whatever. So one day, I think like I didn't have the courage to do it in high school. It was when I went to college. So I was like 18, 19. I was home for the weekend and then I was like mouthing off and then my mom threw the remote.
About what?
I don't know. Just whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just being myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And she threw the remote control at me. So I picked it up and I threw it back at her. And then she looked so scared. Really? Her face changed.
Wow.
I know. And then after that,
tell your dad about that?
I mean, what the fuck would he do? Right?
I don't know.
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
So that stopped after that?
Yeah, she tried one more time, but then I saw her like regret it like instantly. Like she slapped me and I looked at her like this. Oh. Like she slapped my arm and I looked at her like this and she like she knew that it wasn't gonna take anymore. Yeah. So she stopped. My dad didn't stop though, so I had to call the cops on his ass. Can
you tell that story? Yeah. And then I got a story about when I saw my brother fighting stand up against my dad.
That I've heard. You guys talk about it a lot.
It
was like a real moment for you guys.
Yeah, well, I heard commotion in the hallway and then I opened the door and they were going. It was like a kung fu movie where my dad would be like hopping and doing high knees. And my brother would do like high knees back. And like da 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 da, and then he would back him up. Then he would, you know.
So you opened your door and there was a film.
Yeah, there was like it was a full on kung fu movie. I'm like, whoa. But it gave me. I respected my brother for that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's stepping up.
Yeah, you gotta. You can't just keep letting them.
He used to box and you know.
Oh my God, he was a boxer. Damn, he was an athlete.
He was a little, how do you say, gangpe?
Gangpe?
Yeah, he was a gangpe.
So he was a gangster?
Yeah.
You know, Gangpe's not an athlete. Gangpe's a thug.
No, gangpe. He was a shoe shine, like he was
a shoe shine
gangpe, like a street guy. So he would shine shoes by the Navy ships would come in. And he would sit. Yeah, he was like a street cat.
So he would shine shoes of white men in the Navy, and then beat the shit out of locals with his boxing moves.
Dude, people don't realize this. There's some street kids in Korea that will fucking rob you.
They will destroy you.
Because when we went to visit there when we were younger, they knew we were from America. They're like, oh,
they could read.
And they were like, they took my brother's calculator watch.
No.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
shit.
I lost my train of thought. So let's go back to you. Your father. Yeah.
So, yeah. And I talk about this stuff in my book.
Okay.
But,
you do? Good.
I won't give away everything. But it was like right after I'd graduated college. At that point, I did not want to go to the church anymore. Like, I was like done with that stuff. But like my father's like a fundamentalist, Bible thumping.
I just observed something, like just the way you talked about Korean church. What is it about these?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like the centerpiece of a Korean. It's like, because when I bring it up to my mom, she talks about it in the same way where it was more of an obligation for her to go. Like she goes, oh no, I don't. I don't want to go anymore. And I'm like, but what? She's like, it was more like people were forced to go just for the social aspect of it, but not for maybe the religious aspect.
I think it's all of it. Like Koreans are so, and I'm talking about like Koreans, like South Koreans, like very like assimilationist, like collective mentality, group mentality. That's like very important because it's like community. It's also like Korea was like an agrarian country. Everybody was a farmer. So like, among farmers, like there are no boundaries,
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Like you marry my daughter, you can take my field, whatever. It's so fluid like
so
that.
So there's bartering.
And so that you see that happening in a church community, especially among immigrants. And that's important. However, the religious aspect is where it gets crazy. Like they turn religion into a threat. And it's no different from like how Christianity is used in any other nation, really. But they use it as a way to threaten you and control you. And I suffered a lot from that. I've also suffered my share of like physical harm and abuse from the church too, like from church authorities.
Like the preacher? Or?
Yeah, they were physically violent too.
But you're not even their kid.
Yeah.
That would never happen in like a white church. There would be so many lawsuits. They're like, "Oh, you hit my kid. Okay, well."
But they're okay if you molest the kid. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That they'll be like, "Shh, don't."
Be like,
that's normal.
In the Catholicism.
But if you smack them once, game over.
That's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
But it's so that's interesting. So
yeah, I was done with the church, and then my dad didn't want to hear it, so he got very violent. I suffered a concussion. And
wait, he gave you a concussion?
Yeah, it was really bad. And then like my mom was like trying to stop him, and then he pushed her, and that triggered me even more because my dad had also hit my mom in the past. So I was like, you know what, like screw this guy. Like I just called the cops on him. Yeah.
So going back to what did he? Was it? How did that
he
happen?
grabbed my hair. So we were in the basement, and there's tile floors.
Yeah.
And he grabbed my hair, and he like hit my head against the tile floor.
It's the hard floor?
While threatening to kill me.
That's some Korean shit. That's some Korean shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always say, like translate, they'd always say, jugoboryo. What does that mean?
Die, I'll kill you.
And throw you away, right? Because boryo means throw away, right?
Oh, okay.
죽여버려.
버려 does mean throw away.
Yeah,
죽여버려, that's true.
That means I'm going to kill you and throw you.
Wow. Right? I never broke it up into those two meanings like that before.
죽여버려.
Because they only say it in one phrase, like.
But that's what it means.
That is what it means.
It's, I'm going to kill you and throw you away like this, like a fucking piece of tissue paper. Right?
That's true. Yeah, that's so sad.
I know.
Koreans are like, man, they're lethal, toxic.
That's why going back to Cho Sung-wi, that's why I would.
And so it was not
that.
He kept it in.
He kept it in.
And he tried to write about it because he was in an English class, so he would try writing about it.
So he wrote a manifesto?
No. At first, he used to just write like very violent dark short fiction or poems or essays, and then his teachers would be like, this is not okay, like you should go.
He would write about like the rich kids in his class, like
he would just
the
like,
Mercedes, you guys have Mercedes Benzes, that wasn't good enough for you.
That I don't know. I think you're mixing that up with a different shooter. I think he was at UC Santa Barbara, and he was also half
that was
Asian.
Elliot Rodger. That's a
different.
Sorry.
He's a half Asian kid.
I'm obsessed with him too.
Yeah,
by the way.
you are. Yeah, Cho Seung-hee was like full Korean. American.
Full Korean. Yeah,
and he was an English major. He would write like stories, and I feel like that was obviously a better outlet.
Yeah.
But then his teachers kept rejecting him, and then he decided to turn it into a reality.
So would you classify him as an involuntary celibate? Because Elliot Rodger, he basically coined the phrase as far as because he was upset that he couldn't get any dates.
Pussy. Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking Cho Seung-lee was the same way because
probably
when I watched the documentary, he did an interesting thing where he went to a different dorm, to a female dorm. Yeah, just some maybe a girl he might have had a crush
probably
on, and he shot her.
Oh my God!
Shot the RA.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then he came back, and then he made the package for MSNBC.
Damn.
And then went to a different building on campus.
He was so busy that day. God, so fucking productive. Like,
no, for sure,
efficient as hell. Like, he's so like.
You know what's crazy?
What
is he? I think he has. I mean, not that this matters, obviously.
Okay.
But it is interesting. He had a pretty high kill count, as far as because you know what he did.
What?
I don't know if this is a Korean type thing.
Okay.
He was efficient where he locked the outside of certain, the college rooms with chains. Like he mapped it out. He did some mapping out of the structures of the buildings. You know what I'm saying?
Premeditated.
Yeah, and not only that, he even with the the way he conserved his bullets, he would
he was counting.
He was counting. It was mathematic. He would hit each person. Each bullet had a name, and then he would come. And then I heard that he came back to check up on previous classrooms where he had visited.
Yeah.
So that's some Korean shit.
That's homework. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did his homework.
Because Elliot, it was a mess. The people that he wanted to target, the pretty blonde-haired sorority.
Didn't get none of them, huh?
First of all, he couldn't even enter that building because it was locked.
Amateur.
And so he saw these other just random 3 sorority girls from not that sorority where he was targeting and just shot at them.
He settled for
whoever.
Random.
Everyone was a victim.
Yeah.
Everyone was a target.
Yeah. And
then he went to he went to one of the main streets and shot into a convenience store.
God. So it was just random.
It was random.
Oh.
But Cho Seung was calculated. That's why I don't know if that's a Korean thing because
just sounds like he was more focused that day, more determined.
Why is it that the parents of him they basically harbored them away from media where they protected the Korean community, protected the parents from the media?
That I don't know.
I mean, have you ever seen an interview of his parents anywhere?
I never watched it.
There's none.
Yeah.
So I'm saying.
Oh, you were looking for it.
Yeah, I was doing research. I'm like, where's his parents? Where's his brother? Does he have a brother? Does he have a sister? Does he have a cousin?
I'll bet you anything that his dad used to beat the shit out of him. I'll bet you anything. And who did he have to go and talk to about this stuff? When I was writing my book, though.
Yeah, but this has to do with probably the stuff you wrote about.
Yeah, a lot of it. Korea comes from such severe war trauma. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of bodies just thrown into a mass grave and then covered up. Nobody knows who they are. Families are is my dad in there, my daughter, who knows? All lost, gone forever. 4 million Koreans died in the Korean War. And a lot of them, went unmourned, undocumented. So that trauma stays generation after generation. Even if you immigrate, even if you have kids and grandkids, it carries on.
Yeah, my mom had a younger sister. I had a Kunimo, Changanimo, but there was a younger one that died in Korea.
Yeah.
Walking to school.
Oh my God.
And she got run over by an
Oh my
American
God.
army truck.
That happened all the time.
I know.
Like a woman,
It's
like
crazy.
wrapped her baby in cloth and left a baby because she was a farmer. Left the baby on the side of the road, and a tank just drove over the cloth, thinking it was just clothes, but there was a baby in there.
Yeah.
It happened all the time.
And so even when I ask about the war, like my mom, she just vaguely remembers.
She
just
can't talk about
like
it.
leaving.
Yeah.
Probably similar
Can't
to what's
talk about
happening in Palestine and.
Oh my God.
I don't want to bring that up.
You're absolutely correct.
I'm bringing that up only
Yeah.
to make it a comparison. Like
You're
to
absolutely
for
right.
parallels as far
That's
as,
actually brilliant because
Yeah.
the reason why we had such a high military budget to spend in the Middle East is because of the Korean War. Not because of any other war, but because of the Korean War. During the Korean... Okay, so the Korean War happened in 1950.
Yeah.
And this was after World War II, right? 5 years after World War II. During 1950 through the 1980s, what did they call that period? They called it the Cold War era. What did Cold War mean? Meaning there were no hot wars, meaning there were no bullets, no gunfire. But it was happening on other people's terrains.
Yeah.
So the USSR and the US and China, they were all fighting their beef out on Korean soil.
Well,
And there, like during McCarthy era and stuff, they were like, the Americans were like, oh, we need to contain communism. We have to contain communism to the north and keep it away from the south. So this containment policy over communism let the U.S. military turn their military budget 40 times what it used to be in World War II. In World War II. So after they turned that budget into 40 times what it was, that's when Americans kept going into the Middle East thereafter. They went to Vietnam first and then to the Middle East.
Yeah, I can't even watch like the new, like I can't. It's so bad there right now.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Like I don't even want to get political at all. It's just as far as just the aspect of war and like
it's too much.
Just like women and children just being slaughtered. It's crazy.
That's the worst part.
It's crazy.
It really is.
I wanted to bring this up too because as far as because I have Japanese homies. But but as far as our parents and the generations before us, there's because you brought up World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's that history of Japan and Korea. And you know what's crazy? My brother took an Ancestry.
Yeah.
Like a DNA.
Yeah.
We found out that we have 10% Japanese blood.
Me too.
You do?
I'm like 12%.
And we told our mom, she was like tripping.
She was upset.
She go, like she.
Oh my gosh, she couldn't.
Oh, dude, she having a mental breakdown. Because through her whole life, it was like through history and trauma and all the war. Yeah. She couldn't wrap her head around like
even the tiniest bit of Japanese.
Well, you know, history happens. Things happen. It was probably some soldier from that. Crossed over, I don't know, but you even said you have Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like 12% Japanese.
That's through history,
but the thing is, right? Like, okay, I heard a Japanese studies scholar say this. He has a PhD in Japanese.
Okay.
So this is what he said. He was like, all the it's okay. You got it.
I did.
Let's see. You're good.
Okay.
You're good now. Okay, now it's good. No. It would be worse if I didn't say anything.
Okay. But it was a kotachi?
It was a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
It wasn't offensive or anything. Okay. You're good. So, a Japanese study scholar said this. Somebody was like, "What do you?" Because this is an actual history. Japanese archaeologists found like Korean pottery, like Korean ceramics from like eons ago
in Japan.
In Japan. So you know what they did? You know what these Japanese curators? They buried it back up because they were like, we don't want to even deal with this. So a Korean study scholar asked this Japanese study scholar, like, what do you think of that history? And he was like, well, and he was a little drunk. He goes, well, all Japanese people are basically Korean, and all Korean people are basically Chinese. So why are we even talking about this?
Oh, snap. Damn.
I love that answer.
That's crazy. That is true.
It's true. Korea's like stuck to China.
And then even that table.
Oh, that's a beautiful table.
That's Chinese.
Where'd you get that?
My mom.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's but the alphabet and the language, Chinese and it's so synonymous with each other.
Koreans used the Chinese written character up until 500 years ago.
Yeah.
And Korean, the Hangul is the only written language that was ever deliberately
Hangul.
Hangul.
Hangul. Yeah.
It was the only written language that was ever deliberately invented.
You know what? You want to even to break it down even further than that, like generation wise, like Genghis. We're all
Genghis
descendants
Khan.
of Khans.
We're all Khan's jizz.
We're all Genghis Khan's children.
We are.
You know what I'm saying? Because like that dude.
You and I are siblings in Genghis Khan.
But you know how we test that when we were kids, the Mongolian mark on above our donkomoks
on our butts. Yeah, right there.
Boom! It's the purple.
It's a little birthmark.
Mongolian. It's like
the Mongolian blue.
The Mongolian blue. No, seriously, right?
It's the Mongolian blue.
And isn't that crazy? That's the Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Mongol.
Yeah.
Mongolian purple moon above your donkomok. That's real, right?
The Mongolian purple moon above your donkomok.
Yeah. Should I name this episode that?
The Mongolian purple moon above your donkomok.
And what does donkomok mean?
It means butthole.
Asshole.
It means the hole where your shit comes out of.
Yeah, that's literal translation.
The literal translation.
donkomok.
Dong means poop and kumong means hole. So it means poop hole.
It literally means shithole. That's crazy.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You speak really good Korean, like. So, do you speak in the household? It's no English, right?
Nah.
Really? And then your parents, are they still alive or?
Yeah.
And are they where do they reside? Like
they're in New York. My mom actually just got to LA this morning.
Really?
Yeah, I picked her up from LAX.
Go to Koreatown, get some.
Yeah, we went to Galleria Market, got some stuff.
Kimchi.
Yeah, kimchi I make.
Oh, kimbap.
We didn't buy any kimbap, but I do make my own kimchi. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that I do.
Okay, that's fascinating. Like, how do you do that?
You just go to a Korean supermarket and get Napa cabbage, cut them up. You throw in giant, like, big kosher salt. You know, the big chunky salt. Yeah.
What about gochu? You don't put gochujang?
Okay, so we get to that.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go back to the beginning. Sorry.
So you throw a lot of salt into the Napa cabbage, and then you let it sit for a few hours, but not for too long. Like maybe 4 to 6 hours is good. Mm-hmm. And then rinse it out, and then you get gochugaru, which is the pepper flakes. You get an onion, get some garlic, a little bit of rice, water, blend it. And then, and a little sugar. And then you slather the paste into the Napa cabbage. Throw in more gochugaru. Let it sit overnight, maybe 2 nights. Let it sit out. Room temp. You're fine. You don't have any kotakchi.
Okay.
You look good.
Okay.
You look hot. And then, and then kimchi's done. It's super easy.
I thought that you had to have... I remember I have memories of like this kimchi thing that my mom had in the garage.
Yeah.
And I thought you had to like bury it in the ground and
you could do that.
So where's that in your... I thought you had to do that.
No.
I thought dirt needed to be involved with that.
Doesn't have to be.
But why did they do it
because back then it was for temperature control. So they would say you need to make kimjang in the winter. So right before the earth gets hard and frozen.
Yeah.
All the mothers would like make kimchi and then they would bury it and then cover it up. And then in the ground, it would ferment through the winter. And by the spring, when the ground thaws, they would pull it back out and then it would be perfectly ripe. Damn. But now you don't need to do that because they sell kimchi 냉장고, which I'm sure you've heard of. I'm sure your mom has one of these.
Yeah, there's
temperature controlled kimchi refrigerators.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Chelsea's like nodding. She's like, I know.
Because she's from Korea. She's from Koreatown. She knows.
You know what's up.
Yeah. Even like there's like packets to make kimchi jjigae. Like, there's already like the pre-made packets.
Yeah.
So you don't have to really do anything.
Yeah.
You just drop it in there.
You know who made those packages?
No, that's a great idea, but
it is a great idea.
Yeah, because instead of like doing it from scratch and to get the base of the broth, right?
Yeah, to get instant kimchi jjigae. Yeah.
Yeah. So who thought someone originated that idea and then marketed it? And
The company that makes a lot of those is CJ. And CJ stands for 제일제당, and CJ is a food conglomerate that produces all these TV shows and movies that you love, including Squid Game and Parasite.
And they dipped into the food game,
So these food conglomerates are the ones that started or got into Korean television production and film production. They became sponsors. That's why you see so much eating in Korean television.
And when did white people get fascinated with Korean cinema? Like, when did that? Because back in the 80s or the 90s, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
When did it become like cool for white people?
When do you think?
I don't know, but something happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. Like, because now there's white women that there's a term for it. I think it's the Netflix effect, where white women move to Korea
to fuck
looking
Koreans
for a Korean man.
Yeah, I write about that in my book too.
Oh, you did? So that's from Netflix, right?
I would say even pre-Netflix. I wouldn't credit Netflix with everything. So before Netflix started acquiring K-dramas, YouTube, like, there was so many pirated Korean TV shows on YouTube already. Like, so in the 90s, like, there were these mom and pop shops with the VHS tapes of K-dramas, right? So those started to phase out when YouTube had all these pirated K-dramas uploaded from like Vietnamese fans, Filipino fans, and American fans.
My mom had them on VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Remember that one machine that would just rewind? It's
yes.
like that one machine that was just
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But those started going out of business.
Yeah.
So YouTube had all the pirated shows, and then, so the global like spread of K-drama popularity was already happening in Asia, like in the 90s. Like, it was already done. And then it started getting English subtitle translations. So like early 2000s, it started happening more attention. And then companies like Drama Fever and Viki decided to legitimize what was already being pirated and uploaded on YouTube. They're like, oh, like, these fans are already doing this, so why don't we do this and make money off of it? So Viki and Drama Fever started doing this. And then Netflix started getting into it, because they started noticing in their algorithms, because Netflix was very experimental. They would just
find this information out? This is
again, I'm a researcher,
all right,
scholar.
PhD, we get it. So you've done some heavy research in all this.
Yeah.
Stuff. Wow.
And Netflix is new to Korea. It hasn't been there for like not even 10 years. It's still fairly new there. So their relationship is still fairly new. But the tourism, the sex tourism of like white women going to Korea to like fuck
a Korean man.
Because they think that Korean men are like these dreamy boys.
They're abusive, destructive, alcoholic, just very fucking not balanced. There's no communication skills. Dude, they're just crazy motherfuckers. Crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they have no idea what they're even. Yeah.
And again, this isn't every single.
I know,
right? But from fathers we've grown up with,
it's in our blood.
It's in the blood. It's in the blood, kind of.
Because you know what's crazy? Just if you look at cinema as a whole, as far as like, you know, the way white people's perceptions were towards Asian men. Yeah. It's like demasculine. You know, demasculine. Fucking dudes. Like, even in the movie Grease, it's like,
hence Cho Sung-hee and that Elliot Rodgers.
Yeah, that's how people like that are.
And Hollywood cinema did that deliberately. They would deliberately make Asian men look weak or stupid
or
nerdy or incompetent or impotent or ugly or undesirable. Like, this was
it's either that or the kung fu guy.
Or kung fu.
Like the Jackie Chan, the Bruce Lee's, the Bruce Lee's,
Yeah.
that stuff.
That stuff started happening in the 70s onward. Yeah. But before that, like classical Hollywood cinema, they were always like very anti-Asian.
Why do you think that is?
Because the U.S. had beef with China. So any Chinese character like was always going to be looked, they were always going to be like a threat.
Like the buck teeth.
The buck ugly. So yeah, threat, ugly, menacing, can't be trusted, accents. Sneaky, that was big. Yeah. Can't be trusted.
Isn't it weird the way it's flipped? It's flipped though, because now you have like white women going to Asia, like
to fuck these.
It's insane.
But they're going to Asia to do this. See, they're not looking for Asian American men.
Why? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because they think that they're gonna find that shit in Korea.
But there's plenty of Asian men here in America.
What they don't realize is that that's a fantasy. That they think they're gonna go to Korea and find that fantasy in Korea.
They're gonna find Bruce Lee out
but
there.
But it's a TV show.
They ain't gonna find Bruce Lee out there.
It's a TV show. It's written by women. It's a fantasy written by a woman.
What? Really?
Yeah. All of these K-dramas are written by women. You think Crash Landing on You was written by a man?
I don't know. I never really gave it much thought. I just thought
it was a
group of writers. I didn't.
No.
It's a woman that did that.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, and she just wrote Queen of Tears. I don't know if you're into that one. Queen of Tears.
Who wrote 50 Shades of Grey?
Some white lady.
That's a white lady too.
That's a white lady.
That's a lady.
That's a woman.
So this is based on fantasy. It's not even. It's like not realistic.
Not real at all. Actually, it's interesting. We're talking about this in conjunction with like Asian American men like being emasculated in the media, because that's also a projection from paranoia, right? American paranoia projecting like, oh, Asians are sneaky and untrustworthy, so let's make them look like this in our movies.
Yes.
And then they're watching Korean dramas and they see like these beautiful hot dudes who are being extra nice and they could like intuit what woman needs all the time, and they think, oh, that must be real too. It's very interesting and bizarre.
There's no balance. It's either an extreme thing. It's like a case of this, like a guy that looks like a guy from BTS with the perfect facial features and the purple hair, or that's like perfect and just proportionate to his face, and just not just perfect body type, and it's just crazy. But that's not a realistic thing. That's like it's similar to like the modeling industry, as far as like the makeup industry, like Maybelline or something, where the beauty standards are like they're not attainable. Like
you're kind of a genius, Steve.
According to people,
brilliant.
People think I'm dumb, but
no,
I'm not.
Steve is as a PhD.
Yeah, thank you.
Steve is not dumb.
I think about this stuff.
He's really.
I'm fascinated.
Really profound.
It's like, you know why I go back to like Elliot and Cho Sung Lee is because I'm thinking, if let's say Hollywood wasn't like that, because I blame a lot of it on Hollywood, because they're putting out a lot of this imagery and like, you know, like as far as this mind control shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, if it wasn't like that and they portrayed them Asian men like a different way, even from back in the day, then people like Elliot and he needed to learn communication skills. Yeah. But I'm saying it would probably make it easier for him to get a date, because a lot of it. Do you think Cho Sung Lee, if he was like in a relationship with a hot chick at Virginia Tech, you think he would have done all that?
I don't know.
And he had friends, and he had like a good peer group, and
I mean, probably less likely, right?
Very less likely. If he had some good dorm mates, like hey, let's go to the shoot hoops, or let's go get pizza.
Some support.
If he had friends,
support,
and then
a social
on
support.
top of all that, he had that support group, right?
Yeah.
Communication skills, and he had a girlfriend on top of that, and a job, and
he would have been golden.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between whether you shoot up a school or you live a healthy life. But it's going back to probably the stuff you wrote about in your awesome book, K-Drama School, because you talk about a lot of these themes, don't you?
I do. I talk about masculinity. I talk about Asian Americanness. I talk about Korean Americanness.
Why is it that it's okay for the Korean woman or the Asian women to date the white guys.
Yeah.
But then you never see it the other way around. You ever think about that?
Yeah, I do.
And why do you think it's so accepted? Like where it's
Yeah.
like it's okay for the Asian woman to be with the white man, and you won't even turn a blind eye to that. But then if you see, well, you don't see the other one.
You don't really see the other one.
Really see the other one.
Yeah.
Do you?
You don't. I think it goes back to the war somewhat, because a lot of those GIs, they would fraternize with the local women. And the local women, they weren't all prostitutes. Like, they needed a way to live. I mean, their homes had just been bombed to smithereens.
And that would have been their ticket out.
They had no other means of survival. So a lot of them would sell themselves and then make a living. And
or maybe they really fall in love with the soldier.
Some of them did fall in love with the soldier. So like that practice was already happening like on a global scale due to colonialism, right? But this Korean War was a form of neo-colonialism via the US. So yeah, it was already like visible. It was already happening like in Asia. So for it to happen in America, it's like, yeah, more visible. If there were more, let's say it was the other way around. Let's say it was only women were soldiers, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say there were some Korean men who just like really needed some money, okay? And they needed to sell themselves. If that was the norm, then that would also be happening here currently. But no.
So if the Korean men soldiers had to do that just to make a buck.
So Korean.
If it was reversed, if the roles were reversed.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have been soldiers though. But this is true. Oh my God, this is actually really sad. Okay, so after the Korean War ended in 1953, the United States like immediately went to Vietnam and started bombing that place up, right? Guess what country sent the U.S. the most number of soldiers? Like, because it was like a global thing. Like a lot of other countries sent.
That sent what country soldiers?
So the United States for the Vietnam War support. Like there were countries that sent the U.S. like bodies to support them, like soldiers.
France?
They're in there, but guess what country sent the most number of soldiers?
China?
No. But that's close.
Japan?
Very close, but no.
All right, give up.
South Korea. South Korea sent like hundreds of thousands of soldiers because South Koreans needed money. So they were being paid a fraction of what American soldiers were being paid to go and fight in somebody else's war.
To be a soldier in someone else's fight.
And those Korean soldiers left behind a lot of Vietnamese babies. So it was happening via South Korean soldiers too.
So out there's half Vietnamese and half Korean babies.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you write about that in K-drama?
I mentioned
a pop culture inquiry into why we love Korean television? Wow.
I mentioned it, yeah.
That's interesting. We covered a lot of topics. That was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
So what do you think the future holds with K-drama? Do you think it's going to be... Well, it's already globally accepted, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's globally huge.
Yeah.
And
what do you think the next step is with K-drama? Is it just going to get a lot more... Are there going to be more movies, or is it going to be more television-based or series-based?
More and more television, yeah. Movies already, it's there. But I mean, you had asked me like when did white people start paying more attention to Korean cinema? I think with Old Boy, honestly.
There you go.
I think Old Boy, The Host, like Bong Joon-ho and Park Chan. Taegukgi?
Yeah, Taegukgi.
I don't think I've seen it. I don't think it's a good movie.
Or The Host was good, right?
The Host is good. Bong Joon-ho's
film.
film.
The creature and the
Bong Joon-ho's movie.
Yeah.
Park Chan-wook's films.
And then Parasite was amazing.
Parasite was very good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So would you ever move to Korea?
No.
Why not?
I can't. I'm an American. I feel more at home here.
Korean's so good, you'd be able to survive there.
Yeah, I don't want to survive. I want to thrive.
I know, but you could thrive there. Can't you teach there though?
No, I don't want to teach there.
You don't want to teach in Korea.
I'm American.
I know you are.
I like being here. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. It's like when I was in South Korea in 2019.
Yeah.
Like I was having nightmares of dead animals of like dead baby animals inside like crocks, like these little ceramic crocks with like rancid water. So that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a horrible sign.
What do you think that meant?
I looked it up and they said it meant like
That's crazy.
like creatively like there's a creative like suppression.
Oh.
And I think maybe that's true. Cuz my Korean is like elementary at best. It's not like good enough for me to like work in an office or, you know, hold long conversations with like elders and shit, you know.
Really?
Yeah. It's
but
not
don't
at
you
that
do
level.
that? But you could, like, if you go to K-Town, you could
Yeah, that I could do.
get by.
I could get by.
Ajumas.
I could get by ajumas and stuff.
Yeah.
I could order
But
food
you
and
said
stuff.
if you were to go to Korea, you would struggle.
I would, absolutely. And the culture is different there, you know. It's very
It's changed.
It has changed a lot.
So if my mom went, because my mom always, she's like, you know, she's talking about, she's reminiscing, like, oh, I have to go back to Hanguk. And I'm like, Mom, it's probably a lot different than what you remember.
When's the last time she's been there? Like decades?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. She'll be
70s
shocked.
or 80s.
What? No way. This is a totally different world for her.
She thinks she could still remember her old neighborhood.
No,
I'm like, dude,
it's
that
not
shit
there.
Ain't there no more.
It's
dude.
gone.
That shit is gone, dude. She's like, no. I'm like, dude, dude. It's a whole different thing there.
It's totally different.
It's different. It's just run down, bulldozed.
Yeah.
There's
What about you? When's the last time you've been?
My brother did a Wonder Girls video.
Oh my God.
And he had an extra plane ticket. He goes, Dad, you want to come? And so I met like JYP when I was out there.
That's cool.
And dude, they did a music video. They had no breaks. It was like an 18-hour day.
They go hard. People die,
dude,
and they'll keep going.
Dude, and then that's another thing is the work ethic. We didn't
That's
even talk
why.
about the Korean crazy work ethic.
They don't sleep.
Of
They
why
don't
motherfuckers
eat.
Get strokes and heart disease and heart attacks because, you know.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine, she worked for a television station for SBS, and she was like, the producers all get stomach cancer at some point because of the stress and because they drink so much after work.
They just work.
They work, and then drink,
Yeah,
drink, and then work.
Smoke,
Yeah.
work,
And then
work,
they
work.
get cancer, and then they're like, oh, I should chill out, and then they recover, and then they work, and they reach age 100.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, don't frown upon the snail's pace, folks. Cherish it once in a while. You know, I'm not saying don't be lazy, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Snail's pace ain't that bad.
Be present.
You know what I'm saying? Be in the moment. Don't be tripping. Get your shit done, but don't be tripping like that.
Not like that.
Because your life could be like cut. Because strokes, Koreans love them. Koreans love strokes.
They work as if.
My dad had 8.
Oh my God.
I don't know why we're laughing.
So much.
But it's crazy.
Oh, 8 is a lot.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, his ashes are right there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'll show you after.
I'll bow
Yeah,
properly later.
That's respect.
Yeah.
Get yours today. Get your K-Drama School, a pop culture inquiry into why we love Korean television by Grace Chung.
I brought you a present.
Oh, can you want to, let's end it with that. But get yours today.
Yeah.
On Amazon or Google it.
Walmart,
Read
Target.
it.
Yeah.
Gift it.
Gift it.
Give it to your homies.
Mother's Day,
all that.
Father's Day.
You got one too, right? Yeah. Get yours today. She worked hard on it, right?
I did.
You gotta sign. Can you sign it?
Of course.
Okay, with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. What do you got?
I brought you a present.
Okay, appreciate it.
I know you have a sweet tooth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This was my favorite snack that I had. It's a Korean
Yeah.
snack.
All right. Let's get it. Oh, here we go. Woo!
So it's
Gorgonzola cheese soft corn, y'all. Get yours today, y'all.
Gorgonzola.
Woo! Get yours today, y'all. Woo! Mashisoyo.
맛있어요. So it tastes like pirate's booty, but there's sugar on it.
All right.
It's really good.
I'm sure it's good.
It's so good.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm telling you. And there's only one Korean supermarket in LA that carries this.
How did you discover this?
Because I go to all the supermarkets.
And you
and I
experiment
know
with different snacks?
I know which one has what. I know which H Mart has what.
This is so unassuming, and
that's what I'm saying. Their brand is called No Brand.
Honest, it just doesn't look.
It looks like nothing.
It looks like plain.
Looks like nothing.
But there's flavor in this motherfucker.
Oh, it's so good.
There's some fucking flavors in here.
It's so good.
Okay, let's shout out your Instagrams and your website or your future shows. Go ahead.
Follow me at Grace Jung Comedy, GraceJung, or at K Drama School.
Anything else? Any like show day, like any merch or future shows?
I have a show on June 15th in New York.
Okay.
At PNT Knitwear.
Okay.
Where I will also be talking about my book.
And then are you going to be selling your book there? I mean.
Yes.
I mean that's smart, right? To slang your shit after you do a set, and then you can put up a table or
hell yeah,
just have them in a bag, and you know.
Yes.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Why don't you do that?
I should
do that. How much a pop? How much can they get one in person? If they catch you slipping and they catch you in person, like how much would you sell one of these?
So
20? 25?
The retail price as listed is $28 for the hardcover copy of my book.
But she'll sell you one for 25 in person.
We'll talk about that.
30, y'all. 30 cold cash.
28. 30. If it's 30, then I'll throw in a magnet. I'll throw in merch.
Or a sticker. Get yours today. K-Drama School by Grace. Get yours today, all right? Was that fun?
That was really great.
All right, hell yeah. Patreon.com/Steebee Weebee to help support the platform. SteebeeWeebieBandcamp.com. I'm also on Twitch. I Twitch every other day or every other day now. TwitchTV.com/Steebee Weebie. Get yours today. K-Drama School, a pop culture inquiry into why we love Korean television. Hiding in the crevices, in the coral premises, in my Neverland like Peter Pan, checking messages. I feel like it's the way that you grow when you let them go on the edge of plateaus when they push you fall so low. I'm a silhouette that you'll forget a shadow in the dark. I'm a villain, second part of deck, I shuffle with the cards. I'm a vortice to heart, like a monk upon the ledge, and I'm trying to do my part before departing from the edge. A shark is there, a bark is there, remarks about my art aware. Anything we say or do will be demolished like a chair. Tear them down and wear black. Turns to gray, another hair. Changes shade to rainy clouds. I'm proud of what you did. Allowed me to fly an eagle away from nest. I heard my cattle cry, so I woke up Peggy Sue. Walked out into the herd and they mutilated too with laser type precision without a drop of blood. So I grabbed my full revolver, I'ma holler up a machine elf is talking about the details in the fractal landscape, tempting me to mandate if I choose to do that. It can be a man.